good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode, another week. And just like always, we're grateful. We're excited to bring you this week's episode. Without further ado, you ready to jump in, my brother?
For sure. So, we kind of like to start off every podcast by just diving into a little bit of your background and where you come from, where you currently are now, and where you plan to go.
Sounds good. Well, my name is Javonna Wright, born and raised in South Bend, Indiana. Originally grew up on the north side, but I'm from the southeast side. Most of my family is from the southeast side. Had my first child when I was 15, and I currently have 4 children and a grandson. So,
dang, that's what's up.
Wow.
The grandson new, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
That's what's up.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what's up.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So, that's big time. So, tell us a little bit about your kids.
Okay. So I have 4 kids, Jaquan, Javon, Larry, and Lariah, and then I got a bonus daughter as well and a bonus granddaughter. Don't want to leave them out because they're definitely part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Had Jaquan when I was 15, still graduated on time. Went to Ivy Tech, completed my 2 years there, and then went over to IUSB. I worked at St. Joe Hospital for 10 years, and when they built the new hospital, they downsized, so they laid me off.
Okay.
I had been there for 10 years, so I probably had about 2 years worth of unemployment, so I decided to go back to school, and that's when I kind of really took off as far as being an entrepreneur. It was kind of always in my heart. I started my first candy store 20 years ago. But I just always kind of been a hustler, though,
right?
You know. So if we're gonna go all the way back,
Let's go all the way
back. Okay. So, like I said, I got ties from the southeast side, so all my people was plugged. So I quite naturally turned into the plug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that, but while I was hustling, it was always to make a way out.
Right.
So my hustle was to get the money to get out.
Yeah.
It was never to stay. So I never glorified it.
Yeah.
But I had got a felony. So once you get that F on your chest, it's kind of hard to get another job. Yeah. So when I left the hospital, that was kind of the transition. So I applied one time and it came up and it killed my confidence. So went back to what I knew.
Okay.
Like I said, hustled. But it was always, like I said, to better my life and my kids' life. So I never wanted to glorify it, but it was just in me. The hustle was in me. So got into that trouble, and when I got into that trouble, my kids was there. So I just remember how I felt walking back up there before they took me away. And I never wanted to feel like that again. Yeah. So the money that I saved, I just took that and invested it into myself. So during the time that I was laid off, like I said, I went back to school and started taking marketing classes and entrepreneur classes. So I'm like, okay, I like the marketing side. I like, catchy things, just branding. So with my last name being Wright, I'm like, man, what can I do with this? So I went and got my taxes done by somebody else local. And the way she had it set up, I'm like, man, I can do this. I'm a people person. Like, I think I can do this. So I was always good at saving. So while I was working at the hospital, they would take $50 out of my check. So I would put those savings bonds up for Jaquan for college. So I went to my dad in 2011, and I'm like, man, I got this idea, I need that money. He like, nah, you can't get it. I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's my money. I need it. I got a plan. He like, well, what's your plan? So he legit made me sit down and write down what my plan was before he gave me the money. And I kind of wrote everything out as far as what I was going to do. And while I was at IUSB, I was networking with other students. Okay. So I would always talk to them because I was older. So I would always just talk to them and just kind of see what their background was and how they grew up. So I think anybody, if you got an opportunity to go to any type of school, go. And the reason why I say that is because I learned so much from those different individuals. Just talking to them, having conversations with them. So
so when you went to school, you already had the idea of the tax business going into that opportunity, or
no, not necessarily.
Okay.
It was just that I got laid off, and I knew that I had the unemployment, and I didn't want to just be sitting there and doing nothing.
Right.
So the marketing classes is what kind of intrigued me. But once I went and got my taxes done and seen how much she was charging and the flow and the people that I knew, I'm like, oh yeah, bet. So I'm like, God, I noticed what you trying to tell me. Like, you trying to send me the lucrative money, but the right way.
Yeah.
Boom, right way.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of start playing off of it.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, right way to go taxes, where you can get your taxes done the right way. So from there, I just start living it. Like every time you see me, like whatever my brand is, whatever my business is,
that's important.
That's what I'm rocking. So before I came in here, now I'm a partner with Healthies. So I have my Healthies shirt on. So I guess I should have said in the beginning that my whole purpose in life is to build generational wealth for my kids. So that's why I go as hard as I do. Everybody not gonna want to do taxes. So I got the taxes. That's the most lucrative right now for us. Everybody not gonna want to do trucking. So right now we got a 3-car hauler where we haul cars. I just do the paperwork. I'm not a driver. And we had a 2-car hauler. Then I used to drive, but now I don't drive anymore. But that's still another stream of income. So from there, I started selling hair just because I wanted to get it on discount. And I was like, my daughter might want to sell hair, eventually. So that's another stream. So I started doing that as well. And then I'm always been active. So as far as just like working out, staying on top of my body, things like that. So I started selling weight loss products, whether it was Herbalife or the ISO-T. Just one of the two, because that's another stream of income. If I'm taking a product, then why not push it, in my opinion. So that was another stream of income as well. I moved to Indianapolis about 2.5 years ago. I just felt like, man, I couldn't get to where I needed to go. The people, I wasn't elevating. So I felt like I needed to surround myself with people that was doing better than me, so that way I can have somewhere to kind of get inspired by and reach up to or look up to. So we moved to Indianapolis about 2.5 years ago. I went bankrupt.
Dang.
Within 2 months. I was running under a guy that he just wasn't right. So he was supposed to be teaching us the game, and he wasn't. So I'm thinking all this time I got insurance. So I'm paying $1,300 a month for insurance, because insurance and trucking is ridiculous. So we went on a run, and man, we didn't have no insurance.
Dang.
So that could have shut our whole organization down. And when I actually went to him and confronted him about it, that's actually what he did. So I had to start all the way over. I had to start my own authority. I had to pull money out of my 401k. At this point in time, like, I wasn't working because we was just living off of the trucking money. So when I say I went bankrupt, like legit bankrupt, to the point to where Christmas was like crazy one year. But the kids understood. So that's the one thing about my kids. Like, I'm always upfront with them. Like, I don't try to sugarcoat nothing. I give them both ends of it, because that's how life is going to do you.
Yeah.
So they realized, and it was okay. So we got our authority. It probably took me about $9,000 to $10,000. But at this point in time, I'm like a month and a half behind the rent. Rent like $1,700 where I live at.
Yeah.
So it was just challenging mentally. So I had to go back to what I knew. I went down the street to a church, and they just poured into me. Man, like, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because it brought me back to where he needed me. So I feel like he broke me down to the point to where I didn't have nobody but him. Yeah, I could have went to my family, but my pride, I got 4 kids, like, I'm not going back home. I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. So at that point in time, I'm like, man, if I got to go to the blood bank, if I got to go to the pantry, like, I got people dependent on me, so I got to do what I got to do.
For sure.
So I felt like he needed to talk to me. So this church accepted us in, and the kids loved it, but they allowed me to teach a finance class. That gave me my confidence back.
Yeah.
So, because when I left here, it was just a whole bunch of he say, she say. It was just a whole bunch of extra stuff that I needed to get away from. Okay. So that way I can find my purpose.
That's crazy, because I hear that a lot, especially from, because me and Jay are big on, like, trying to recruit people to come back
to the city,
right? And so like we ask people that leave why, and it's kind of that same common denominator that they're looking for more inspiration, or they want to be more around more like-minded people like them. And I think it's important that people like you are tangible, and that's why we wanted to start, Minds from the Mud and things like that. So I think that that was genius. That was genius that you came back and started your businesses and is still pouring into the community and stuff like that by bringing things that you learned. So definitely kudos to you for that. That's what's up. I
appreciate it. Yeah. Trucking too wasn't too. It's kind of slow here. So when I looked at the market in Indy, it was better. We could get loads coming and going. So our route is normally from here to Indy.
Okay.
And it pays pretty decent if you stay. If we get booked the way that we should, it's usually about $4,000 to $5,000 a week. So you got your insurance costs and things like that. But as y'all know, I got kids, so that's always what it's about is my kids. Javon, man, if I wouldn't have moved, I don't feel like he would have got the opportunities that he got now.
Okay.
From where we was at. He was able to hook up with George Hill, so now he his mentor, and he was on his AAU team, so now he in Arizona, playing basketball, which is a blessing. And I'm just thankful that I'm in a position to where I can send him there. A lot of parents can't do that coming from where I come from, coming from the background that I have, to be able to send your son to Arizona and be able to financially afford that. That's a blessing. So I know it's God working in me. I know that. And I think I know my purpose is to build generational wealth and be an example for other people, that they can do it. You can be a mom at 15. You can still graduate. You can have other kids. You can still go to college. Right. You can come from the streets, come from hustling, and turn it into legal. It's your mindset. Yeah. If your mindset is right, then you're gonna be all right. Yeah. So just to take it back, he punished me again because with taxes, it's a couple of things you could do. So I thought I was slick, of course. He slapped my hand a little bit just with a fine, that I had to pay back, but that was enough to open my eyes to where, okay, this your second chance. I'm not going to keep playing with you. So now you got to get it all the way right. So on top of doing a little extra stuff, I would take my money and I would just put it back into the streets. Here, just bring me this back. He wasn't blessing me the way that he did when I stopped doing that. You see what I'm saying? So once I stopped all the way, I kept thinking I could play with him, in my opinion. And you can't do that. You got to know exactly what you're going for. And the blessings is going to come full throttle. He just blessed me today. And I just out of nowhere, I just talked to him about it. A week later, boom, today. But my faith is there. I always was brought up in church. My mom is a deaconess at church. My dad is a deacon. My grandmother, we grew up in Mount Carmel. So the foundation was there. I strayed away at a young age because just hanging around the wrong people and wanting to fit in, and battling with yourself. So my partner we was talking and she was like, Giovanna, have you ever thought about self-love? I'm like, not really. But as I started breaking it down, I was looking for that in all the wrong places. When all I had to do was go to God. He loves me, So I was looking for it at a young age in men. So like I said, I got 4 kids, 3 different dads. Not proud of it, but it's part of my story. Right. It made me who I am today. And I'm proud of all of my kids. Everybody is doing good. But I just made some bad choices growing up, But now I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm living in my purpose. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. 5 successful businesses. So we're gonna start off with Right Way to Go Tax Service, Right Way to Go Logistics. I have a dispatching company called Building Our Legacy Logistics, and now I'm a partner with Healthies. So now if something was to happen, all the kids got a business that they can take over. Big on stocks. I just started learning stocks this year. My stock investments is at 10K, which is good for me. I'm also getting into trading, also into real estate where we flip houses. We got a real estate club. So I'm just trying to find my way, and now I'm trying to build that generational wealth. I got a group called Girl Gang. So that's my women empowerment group. We have outings. We talk about entrepreneurship. We do annual like give backs, community events, things like that. So I think that's my purpose as well too, is to educate female entrepreneurs as well, and just kind of give them the game as far as business setups, what they need to know about business credit. Business ethics is big because, like I said, I didn't always have that, you know. So I want them to not go through the fire. I want them to listen to me because I already been through it, you know. So I try to tell them that, you know, the way you carry yourself is huge in the community, especially being a female, especially being a mom. You got to pay attention to what you post. You got to pay attention to what you wear. With me having boys, I can remember at a young age, just having like boys mock my boys, you know. So I'm like, you can't wear certain things, you can't do certain things because this is reflecting your kids. So that's probably why I move the way that I do, and just try to always carry myself with respect, no matter what. But my kids is my everything. My businesses is my everything, and I came back to South Bend because of Antonius. He gave me an opportunity with the city. Antonius Norton.
Shout out Antonius.
Yeah, he sure did. So he gave me an opportunity with accounting, and from there opened up to marketing. And 2021, I'm on the rise for sure.
That's what's up.
So I'm excited about 2021.
Touching on that women empowerment group, right? Is that specifically located in South Bend, or is it in Indianapolis as well? Like, what's the locations looking like for that?
So there's one in Indy that I'm a part of that inspired me to open the one in South Bend. So I network with both of them. So if there's an event in Indy, I go to that one, and then I come to all of our events as well.
So young ladies that might be watching the podcast, how could they know what the group has going on, and how can they get involved?
So it's called Girl Gang South Bend. All they have to do is look us up on Facebook, and myself or my assistant Anna Davis will accept their requests. If they don't have an LLC, we can help them with that. If they don't know what they want to do, we can help them with that as well. So we do one-on-one consultations where we sit down with them and just kind of see exactly what services it is that they need, and kind of go from there.
You got something?
Yeah, I want to touch on just like the team building piece and how you've kind of made the right moves as far as putting the right people around you.
I didn't always.
Not always. Speak on that.
I would try to just put people in a position because I knew them. And they might not have been the best person for the position. So lately I just been waiting on him to send me the right people. And that's what he's been doing. He sent me Anna earlier this year. My partner Lika, he just sent me her this year. My partner Larry, he sent me him. So just being patient. And just because your homeboy want the opportunity, it might not be for him. So I had to go through that. I lost a lot of friends, a lot of family members behind business. So I just said, moving forward, I'm going to wait for him to send me the right people. And that's what I've been doing. And ever since then, everything been flowing okay. So
do you kind of like take lead as far as just wearing multiple hats until you can find somebody to latch on with you and take over those responsibilities?
Yep, absolutely. All of my businesses is like my babies. So with your kids, you're not going to let just anybody babysit them. And that's what I did with a couple of businesses, you know, brought people in that I thought was good babysitters and they wasn't. So, yeah. Yeah. So you got to be patient. Timing is everything. And I wanted to rush it. And, you have to be patient. Yeah. For sure. So he sent me the right people. And now I think I can delegate some things. Right. Now she handles some of the tax things. She helps me with everything, hands down. But as far as, like I said, the trucking, I really don't have anything to do with that hands-on. The driver handles that. With the dispatch, her and I handle that. And then my other partner is a broker. So we just already kind of have the loads available. And then Healthies, I have a partner. So I think it's better when you have somebody that's like-minded
Right.
and that is interested in the business as well. So all of these guys, everybody that God sent me is interested in whatever lane that they already in. So it just kind of works out. I come with my expertise, whether it's finances, bookkeeping. Like I said, I'm really good with money, in my opinion. So I help people with budgets, as far as monthly budgets with business or their personal ones. Help with credit, as far as if you got debt, you want to pay it down, different things like that. So team building is big, it's huge, but it got to be the right people.
Gotta be the right people.
Yeah, and they got to understand the vision. Y'all got to have the same morals. Y'all got to be working towards the same goal. Mm-hmm. And if not, y'all might need to reevaluate, before it get to that point. So
Right.
Okay. A question that I got, and I had reached out to a couple powerful, strong Black women my age, and I just asked them what would be some questions that they would want me to ask, right? Because I'm a Black man, So they one of the questions that I received, and how do you build confidence as a Black woman?
Prayer, having the right people around you to build you up, speaking life into yourself, affirmations, that's huge for sure. But I always had people depending on me. So it's like nonstop. It's like something just inside of me that's like, until everybody is straight, you got to keep working. So, and having a good mentor, somebody that you can just, in my terms, just when I say be naked with, as far as them not judging you, them not throwing it back up in your face when y'all fall out. Okay. And that's my Anna. I can tell her anything, right or wrong. Even if I think I'm right, she gonna let me know. Yeah. So just having that person that you can kind of talk to. But the affirmations and prayer, okay. Gotta believe in yourself for sure.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that was real good. That was real good. I just want to say thank you for everything that you do, how you impact our community, even to how you raise your kids. Because I was a teammate of you're one of your sons, and me and him grew to be close in just that short year. But obviously, I can see a lot that correlates in where he get it from, and just want to say thank you for everything.
No problem. Sure. I appreciate y'all for having me for sure. Because it is a story that I feel like I wanted to tell for sure. Being a single mom, having a child, at 15, and people saying that you can't live out your dreams. And not necessarily, it might not be the avenue or the street detoured a little bit, but I'm back on track. And just having the right mindset, you got to be around the right people that's pouring into you, because either way it goes, it's in me, So in the beginning, I chose the wrong side. But as I got older and knowing that I didn't want to be away from my kids, I had to get it right, So I'm just blessed that I got those 2 little slaps on the hand, because it could have been worse. Yeah. I couldn't be sitting here right now, to watch my son play or to watch my daughter with her T-shirt line. So I'm just blessed to even be here right now today, because if the wrong choice, I wouldn't be here. So I appreciate y'all for having me, and also for just what y'all doing for the community and being young and being from here. I think it's relatable. People can relate to you guys, and especially the name. Like when I seen Mike Stuckey episode, I'm like that's us. Like we literally got it out the mud. If you know us and you know how we came up, like perfect for us. Yeah, so dope podcast. Like y'all doing y'all thing. So
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you got like where people can find you on social media.
Ooh, I got so many handles. Yeah. So on Instagram, it's Black Betty CEO Indiana. Right Way to Go Tax Service, Right Way to Go Logistics, Building Our Legacy Logistics, and Girl Gang South Bend. So we just started a t-shirt line, waiting on the website to get built. So I actually started that company with my daughter. With COVID, she just got depressed, you know, because these kids in the house, you know. So it got to the point to where she was in her room, we wasn't communicating, and one day she just broke down, and like it was just life-changing. So I had to come up with something that we can work on together, and for her to kind of understand why mom is gone so much. So now that she's working on her own business, doing photo shoots, putting her post on Instagram, different things like that, she sees how busy I am. It is for her, so she kind of understand a little bit more. But on that note, pay attention to your kids for sure, because we just went through a rough stage with COVID and her not being able to communicate with her friends. So she got really depressed. So I had to take some time out of being busy and spend time with her, that one-on-one time, and to get our relationship back to where it needs to be. So, and that's important to me. Being a good mom is very important to me. Being there, being active. I'm pretty sure I was at the majority of the games.
Facts.
And I remember you from AAU as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So me being present is important to me as well, and just being a good role model for them. So I think hopefully they picked up on a work ethic, and they'll continue it. So.
Yeah, so you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, so I mean, I just would say, just to wrap us up, like, continue to shine your light. It's a lot of young ladies, when we kind of disclosed that we were going to do this interview, they were excited because they see the work that you do and you inspire them to get out here and start their little business.
Yes, and they can hit me up. Work, yes, they can. Yes, they can hit me
so
up for sure.
it was dope to hear how excited the people were for this interview, to hear the story. And now they know how to get in touch with you. They know how to network with you. So I'm excited, and I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
You guys.
For sure. Yeah. But love, peace, and we'll see y'all next episode.
Peace.
I lost some soldiers on the street, somebody pray for them.